I did eat my breakfast.
How many of y'all think that breakfast is overrated?
Wait, no, I love it. Breakfast is so good for you.
Dude, I haven't ate breakfast in like a month. That seem weird? Cody, is that weird?
Yes.
That's kind of weird, you know? How am I still living? How are you guys this week's been? How's school been? When did you already start school?
It's been lit.
Was yesterday your first day at school?
Yes.
From my high school, my junior hires? No. Cody, you guys didn't have school yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, you guys did? How was it?
It was lit.
Lit. That's what's up. That's good. How about 2017? How's it treating you guys?
Woo!
So far, so good. All my graduators are probably super happy. Tonight is week number 2 in our New Year's series, Wild at Heart. Week number 2. Someone say week 2?
Week 2.
Last week, what did we talk about last week? Pop quiz. That's a good one. Vanessa, good job. You studied. Who else? Well, yeah, I know. I just want to say that's a good one. That's good. Who else? What did you learn from last week's message?
That tomorrow is promised to nobody.
Luke, say it. There you go. I love it, Luke. I can tell that you took notes. There you go, Cody. I love it too. And so this week, on this fine evening together as a family, we are in week number 2, Wild at Heart. And tonight's message, if you are taking notes, is called Sleeping In on Disappointment. Sleeping in on disappointment. How many sleepers do I have out there? Sleep is amazing. Sleep
Oh
is
yes,
God's gift
I love it.
from all of creation, the best thing ever made. Amazing. So we're going to be talking about sleeping in on disappointment. So can you please turn with me to the book of John, chapter 5, verses 1 through 9. If you have your apps out, I am in NLT. Book of John, chapter 5, verses 1 through 9. Everybody there? I think it should be up there. So if y'all got it out so far, it's in the Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, last book of the Gospels in the New Testament. If you hit Revelation, you've gone way too far. Turn back now while you still can. So, book of John, chapter 5, verses 1 through 9 says this. Afterwards, Jesus returned to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish holy days. Inside the city, near the sheep gate, was the pool of Bethesda, with 5 covered porches. Crowds of sick people, blind, lame, or paralyzed, lay on the porches. One of the men lying there had been sick for 38 years. When Jesus saw him and knew he had been ill for a long time, he asked him, "Would you like to get well?" And that's a really weird question for Jesus to ask. Like, he obviously sees that this guy's sick, he's paralyzed, he can't move, and he's like, "Hey man, do you want to get better?" Like, of course this guy wants to get better. I feel like sometimes whenever I read the Bible, I'm always like, Jesus, are you like an alien? Like, can you not tell that maybe he wants to get better? I feel like that part was so weird to me. Verse 7. "I can't, sir." Of course he knows that he can't, but he says, "I can't." The sick man said, "For I have no one to put me into the pool when the water bubbles up. Someone else always gets there ahead of me." Jesus told him, "Stand up, pick up your mat, and walk." Instantly, the man was healed. He rolled up his sleeping mat and began walking. But this miracle happened on the Sabbath. Dun, dun, dun. God, thank you so much for who you are. Thank you so much for your spirit, for your strength, for your presence, God. Help us tonight as this message goes forth, Lord. Help us tonight as our hearts are open and our minds are open to you, God. In Jesus' name, everybody can say amen. Amen. So how many of y'all have went camping before? Any campers do I have out there? I think for sure 2017, never been camping before, but I actually want to go like once or twice this year. That's like my goal. That's like what I want to achieve for this year, to go camping at least once. I mean, like actually camping, you know, like pitching a tent out in the backyard. I don't think counts as camping. I learned that when I was younger. And I'm not talking about like Naked and Afraid or like Bear Grylls kind of style, you know. Like I'm just gonna go out into like the Amazon with a knife. Like, no, like
Take a trailer.
I'm not there, you know? If I were to go camping, I feel like somehow I would eat like a poisonous berry by accident. I would sleep on poison ivy and I would rub up against like poison oak. And then as I'm sleeping, like a bear will come in and take all my food. Like somehow that's how I would camp. Like I would have all the worst possible situations. That's what would happen to me. Like I would lose all my food, I would forget to bring sunscreen, and I would be like a tomato out there, and my whole entire day would be ruined. My hair would turn all frizzy. Not good. I would rather camp as I'm watching TV in my nice air-conditioned house. You know, that sounds good to me. I remember when I was little, when I was in about I want to say like 6th or 7th grade, me and my brother used to always pitch out like tents in the backyard. But it was so weird because like we were like, yeah, man, like tonight's the night, like we're gonna sleep out in the tent, like we're so cool, you know, we can hear like the birds chirping and stuff, like no danger whatsoever. But I remember I would always like chicken out at the last minute, you know? Like my brother's in the camp, or like in the camp, like out in the tent, and he's just like looking out the window, like where's White at? And I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm inside actually, I didn't want to go, you know, I was too scared, you know, I guess that the wind was blowing a little bit too much, I didn't want to risk anything, but that was my experience with camping, that's really it, camping on, you know, like right next to RVs at like camping sites, like that's how dangerous I'm gonna get when it comes to camping and when it comes to the wilderness. I'd rather watch other people do it on TV than actually do it myself. But of course there's different essentials when it comes to camping. You need different equipment. On the count of 3, just yell out something that you need for camping. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
My phone.
All I heard was Jesus. Some of y'all are very spiritual. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. White bees. Oh gosh. There's a lot that you need when it comes to camping. You need backpacks, you need a tent for sure, you need some water, you need some food, you need a knife, you need a fire starter, you need a kit like that.
Wi-Fi.
You need the right clothes. You can't be wearing skinny jeans out in no forest. I'm sorry, all my H&M guys, but that's not possible. You gotta wear the right shoes. You have to have sunscreen if you're like me. Probably a bunch more stuff that you're gonna need. And for me, I love my sleep, so I need me a sleeping bag. How many of y'all love sleep again? How many of y'all love that sleep? Now, what does that have to do with a paralyzed man? What does that have to do with Jesus? What does that have to do with this story in John 5? Well, let's go to it and let's see how this can actually relate. So John chapter 5 starts off with talking about this paralyzed man. Jesus goes into Jerusalem, and there's this pool that's called the Pool of Bethesda. And there's a part actually missing from this passage, verse 4, that actually says in other translations that an angel would come down and stir this pool once every single day, and then go back up to heaven, and that would give it basically like its healing power. And so every single day, this pool bubbles up, someone goes into the pool, and boom, miraculously healed. Now, Jesus finds all these people there, and he stumbles upon this one man, and he was sick, paralyzed for 38 years. 38 years. Some of y'all can't even imagine being 38. Some of y'all, most of all, aren't even close to 38. This guy has been sick and paralyzed for 38 years, and Jesus comes upon him, and he says, hey man, do you want to get well? A really weird thing for Jesus to ask. Of course he wants to get well. Like, of course. Wouldn't you? Like, if you were paralyzed for 38 years, and someone was like, hey man, like, do you want me to pray for you so you can stand up? No, I'm good. I'm all right. Like, who would actually say that? Of course he wants to be healed. And so he starts telling him his story. You know, I don't have anybody to put me inside the pool when it bubbles up, so that's why I'm still like this. And then Jesus says, okay, I want you to get up right now, and you're going to walk. So he gets up miraculously, and he walks around, and he leaves the pool, and it says that it would happen on the Sabbath, so basically a day of no work, but we're going to get into that probably another week or so, because that's a whole different story. But this guy was stuck in the exact same place in life for 38 years. For 38 years. He was in the same problems. He was in the same circumstances. He was facing the exact same thing. He was suffering from the exact same ailment for 38 years. This guy was stuck in the exact same place of life for 38 years. Physically impossible to move. Physically impossible to go anywhere or to be with anyone for 38 years. Now I know for some of us don't have those problems. Some of us can walk just fine. Some of us can move around just fine. But what about emotionally? How have you been emotionally? Because have you been stuck emotionally? Have you been stuck spiritually? Have you been stuck on a psychological and on a mental level? Have you been stuck? Have you been doing the same things? Have you been in the same situation last year? Have you been in the same situation for over a month? Have you been feeling the same pains for a period of time? Have you been comfortable in those situations? Now, when it comes to this man, he was stuck. And I could only imagine that he just got used to it. And when you get used to something, you get comfortable in it. And he kind of got comfortable in what he was in. He got comfortable in who he was. And he just thought, you know what? It's a part of me now. This is who I am. This is who I am supposed to be. This is just what I was made for. Now, when it comes to waking up in the morning, how many of y'all like hit the alarms at least like 3 times, for snooze? Like, give me. You know what's so weird? On my alarm clock, I don't know if any of us have that, but So for the iPhone, if you hit snooze, it only goes for 9 minutes. Why? Why 9 minutes? Why not just go the full 10? Like have they done like scientific studies? Like if you hit it for 10, you're probably gonna fall asleep again. Like how does that even work? You know, like what is that? And so you probably heard 2 different phrases. You know, give me 5 more minutes, or I don't want to get up. You know, you mumble that. You're like, oh man, yo, like I don't even want to get up right now. Like my bed, it's so nice, it's so warm, it's so comfortable. And it's so much harder to get out of it. And it's like, man, like I don't want to leave right now. School, psh, what is that? You know, I'm just going to miss a few days, you know. Homework, I don't need that. I can just, you know, go and be a mailman somewhere. You know, I don't need a degree or anything like that. I'm just going to sleep, right? Like sleep and being comfortable in bed makes you think of like, man, you know what? Living at my parents' house isn't so bad. You know, they're nice, they're cool. It makes you think about the craziest things, right? It's like work, like, psh, if I get laid off, you know, God will take care of me, you know? Like, that's what being comfortable in bed does, you know? You're all nice and warm, and you're so used to it, and it's nice, and so many times I feel like that we get stuck, and we actually get comfortable in the same thing that God wants to take us out of. And I feel like just like being comfortable in bed, and just like being comfortable in sleep, we can get comfortable in our defeats. And we can get comfortable in our failures, and we can get comfortable in our pressures and in our problems, in our situations in life. We can get comfortable without even knowing it. Have you ever tried to like lay in bed and you're not tired whatsoever, but then all of a sudden like 10 minutes later you're like, man, yo, I'm super tired. And then like you're texting that person, right? And they're like, oh, yo, you still up, boo? And you're like, yeah, of course, you know. And they're like, oh, how long are you gonna be up for? I'm like, psh, at least like another hour, right? And like 2 minutes later, boom, you're done. Like you're waking up the next morning to your alarm clock. Like all of a sudden, it just hits you, you know. And I feel like that so many times that's what happens to us in our problems. When we fall into them, or when we go into them, it's kind of like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a breather for a little bit. But the next thing you know, you're comfortable in it, and you can't move from it. And now it's a part of you. And now it's difficult for you to get up because you're comfortable and you're used to it. And we're all going to fall down. We're all going to mess up. We're all going to go through tough times in life. I mean, that's just inevitable when it comes to living this life. No one in here is perfect. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter what your mom told you, you know. Like yes, you're beautiful. Yes, you're amazing. But you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make failures. You're going to fall down in life. That's eventually what's going to happen. And I'm sure some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm sure some of y'all are just thinking about something that happened to you where you fell down and you felt like that you just didn't want to get back up because it was too much for you. Here's the thing though. When it comes to falling down, like if I was just to lay right here, like right now, this feels fine. But after like 5 minutes or so, I'm going to be like, man, my neck is starting to hurt. My back, you know, my doctor says it's not good for me, so I guess I should just get back up, you know? All right, back on my feet, walking. And that's what it's like when you have like a small failure in life, right? Like you fall down, you're like, man, this sucks. I'm gonna get back up. So you get back up and you keep on going. But what happens when you fall, when you fail, and you feel like that you don't want to get back up? And you start to get comfortable in the exact same thing that God wants to take you out of. It's almost like this. You see, you got this nice sleeping bag, and it's all nice and warm. Shout out to the Hernandez family for letting me borrow it. Woo! Right, and you just hit a failure, right? And you're like, man, you know what? This is tough, and so I'm just gonna stay in it, you know, and I'm just gonna keep on trying, you know, but I'm not really gonna do much. I'm not really gonna do anything, you know. And then this sleeping bag could represent anything. It could represent your failure. It could represent your insecurity. It could represent that relationship that you were in that didn't seem to work out. It could represent that thing in your life, that addiction, those websites that you go into in the middle of the night because you can't sleep or you know you shouldn't be on, those people that you talk to who you call friends but you know that will never be there for you when it actually counts, those moments in life where you get angry, when you're anxious, when you're stressed, when you feel depression coming on, when you just feel life happening. And so many times we can get caught up in these moments and we can get caught up in these times in life. And maybe the sleeping bag represents your family. Maybe you don't got the best family. Maybe you're in a tough situation right now. Maybe Maybe right now, you're in a moment where you're like, you know what? My parents, I don't even love them. I don't even care for them. They've done this to me. They've done that to me. Maybe even you're in a position where you're feeling like your parents' habits are trying to catch on. Where you're starting to believe that the only chance that you have in marriage is divorce because you live with your parent and your step-parent. Or you live only with your parent, and all you see is the division and the destruction that happened from that divorce, and now you think, man, that's all I'm going to be. That sleeping bag can represent that. The sleeping bag can represent the relationship where you thought, man, for sure we're going to get married. For sure we're going to be together forever. Of course, you know, we're going to be always with each other. I mean, he says that he loves me, and yeah, of course, but then what if it doesn't work out? Then this sleeping bag could represent that. This could represent your past, where you just can't let go of it, where something happened in your past, something so crazy, something so horrific happened in your past, but yet you cannot let go of what happened to you. This could represent your future of overthinking, and you're overthinking the possibilities of yesterday, and overthinking the possibilities of today, and you are just in your head so much where you can't even sleep. This could represent your sorrow, when you go to bed, you can't help but just cry yourself to sleep at night because you can't handle it anymore, because that's the only way that you're ever going to feel something, because you don't feel happiness, you don't feel joy, so why not feel some sorrow in your life? This could represent your rage, because you've had it with so many people, with your family, with your friends, with the people who you thought were close to you, but they've just been doing you wrong so much. This could represent so many things for you. Whatever it is right now, I just want you to think about it. What is your sleeping bag? What is that thing in your life? What is that thing inside of your life that you thought that you're getting over, but it's actually still creeping up on you? What's that thing in your life that you can't let go of? What's that thing in your life that keeps on pursuing you, that keeps on coming after you? Because this could represent so many things to so many people, and it could represent so many more things. I mean, I could just keep on going on, naming off relationships, naming off anxiety, naming off depression, naming off insecurities, like I said before. This could represent so much stuff, but if we're not careful, we can start to get comfortable. And we start to think, you know what, this is all that I got. You know what, this actually isn't that bad. I could probably lay here for 5 more minutes, for 10 more minutes. I could probably stay here a little bit longer. What's the point of me getting up if I'm going to fall over again? What's the point of me getting up if I'm going to fall back into the same situation? If I'm going to fall back into the same problem? If I'm going to follow the same addiction? Because this could represent your drinking habits, this could represent your smoking habits, this could represent what you see on TV, this could represent whatever thing is holding you back from fully pursuing God. But you've gotten comfortable in the same thing that you're supposed to be moving on from. And you've fallen into it. And some things have happened in your life, and I understand that. But you see, here's the thing. When it comes to God, He doesn't want us to stay in the exact same situations. He doesn't want us to stay in the exact same problems. He doesn't want us to stay in the exact same stress and the exact same anxiety. I'm not ending anytime soon. I just want to go up here just for a better view, you know? But He wants us to move on from the same things that seem to keep us down. But we get comfortable in the exact same situation that God wants to take us out of. This man in this book, in the book of John, chapter 5, he got comfortable in the situation that he was in, and Jesus was asking him, do you want to get well? Not because Jesus was dumb, and not because he thought this man would say no, it's because he knew that he was the one who could take him out of it. And I believe that God is asking you tonight, what can I make you well from? What can I take you out of? What sort of addictions can I help you walk away from? What sort of insecurities can I help you out of? What sort of things have happened in your past that you want me to take out to not have an effect on your future any longer? What sort of thoughts are you thinking late at night that seem to keep you away from God? What is it that God can do for you? What can God take you out of? What is it that He has to take you out of? You see, because we get comfortable in our difficulties, but God called us not to be comfortable in our difficulties. He called us to be a mover and a doer. And I believe that tonight we're going to make a move. I believe that tonight we're going to make a move. I don't know what's going on in your life right now. I don't know what sort of situations you walked in with, but you walked in with something. But I believe that tonight we're going to make a move from something. And I know that it may seem like a challenge to you. And I want you to put that sleeping bag inside of your head. What is that thing that's keeping you away? What's that thing that seems to be holding you back? What's that thing that you're getting comfortable in? What is that thing that makes it hard to get back up from when you have fallen? What's that thing in your life that keeps on having the edge on your future? What's that thing in your life that makes you worried? That makes you anxious, that makes you depressed, that makes you angry? What is that thing? Because I believe that tonight depression ends. I believe that tonight anxiety leaves. I believe that tonight stress will go down. I believe that tonight the past will stay in the past. I believe that tonight addiction will no longer have power over you. I believe that tonight dysfunction will turn into function. Again, the division inside of your heart will turn into unity. I believe that tonight is the night where something changes, because God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly more than you could even imagine or think. Whatever sort of situation is that you're going through tonight, I believe that God is able to take you out of it. And I believe that for 2017 to be the best year that you've ever had, you need this to be taken out. Because it's been happening way too long. You've been in it way too long. You've been doing it way too long. You've been thinking about it way too long. It's time to do something about it. It's time to move on from it. It's time to move on from that hurt. It's time to move on from that pain. It's time to move on from that thing that keeps on pushing you down. I believe that tonight we're going to make a move. Who's ready to make a move tonight? Who's ready to make a move tonight? Who's ready to make a move on from the past? Who's ready to make a move on from your addiction? Who's ready to make a move on from your depression? Who's ready to make a move on into the future that God has for you, into the purpose that He has for you? Because I feel like that tonight, we got 3 different moves tonight. And we're going to have people getting up for the very first time. People getting out of the comfort that they've been in, the comfort of the struggle, the comfort of the difficulties, the comfort of life, the comfort that they found themselves in that seems to be holding them down. I believe that tonight is the night where we have a first-time people getting up. And we're going to have people who have gotten up before and who have fallen down again. And I believe that tonight they're going to get up. And I believe that tonight is a night where we're going to be able to get up from the comfortability. I believe that tonight, if you have already gotten up, but you haven't started moving, I believe that tonight you're going to make a move into the right direction. I believe that tonight you're going to start to get an idea of where to go, of how to move, of how to go, of your purpose, of your passion, of what it means to truly be saved by Jesus Christ. I believe that tonight is the night where people start getting past their struggles and people start getting over their addictions. I believe that tonight, maybe you've already gotten up, and maybe you've already have been getting moving. And I believe that tonight you're going to continue to move. And you're going to continue to be strengthened. And you're going to continue to have the grace. And you're going to continue to have the peace. I believe that tonight is the night where something is going to change. Where there is going to be a difference. Because you just thought, you know what? I'm going to come into Ignite and I'm just going to chill. I'm going to play some Uno back there. I'm going to just hang out with my friends. I'm going to meet some new people. But you didn't know that you were going to walk out with a breakthrough. You see, God has so much more for you planned in this gathering than just to hang out, but He actually wants to change the circumstances that you walked in with. The same things that you struggle with are the exact same things that Jesus struggled with when He was here on this earth. Isn't that so crazy? Like, you have a God that is able to look at you and relate to exactly what you're going through. You have a God that is able to relate to you in exactly single situation that you're going through, every single difficulty, every single addiction, whatever it may be. He can relate to you on every single level. And it's crazy to me because He is able and willing to take you out. Not just able, so He doesn't just have the power to take you out, but He actually wants to take you out. He wants to help you. He wants to grow you. He wants to move you from the situations that you find yourself in on a day-to-day basis. He wants to move you from them. You want to know why I always preach down here? I don't know why. I've had, when I first started preaching, I had people ask me, how come you always preach preach down here, you never preach up on the stage. It's because I want to be with you guys. I want to be with the people. I want to be able to have moments where I can relate to exactly what you're going through because I am right there with you. Because just because I have the title pastor over me doesn't mean that I'm immune to problems. Doesn't mean that I'm immune to situations. Doesn't mean that I'm immune to stress or insecurity or anything like that. I'm just here to tell you I can relate. I'm here to tell you that God is able to move you from the same situations that you find yourself in, that you found yourself in yesterday, that you found yourself in last week, that you found yourself in last month, that you've been going through since last year. God is able to move you from those same situations that you thought were impossible to move from, that you thought, man, I'm just born with this. Man, I'm just born like this. Man, my family has put that gene inside of me where I have to be like this. No, you don't. Because God is able to move among you tonight. And he's able to change your life, and he's able to change everything that you thought that you knew about him. And he's able to change everything that you thought that you even knew about your life. Because God knows you better than you even know yourself. God knows your future, he knows your purpose, and he knows where he's going to be taking you. And he's got a good plan for you, with hope, with a future, with prosperity, with so much more than you could possibly imagine. So why not make a move towards that tonight? Band, head on up here, all my singers, all my musicians. I'm sorry I moved your stuff away. But I kind of just wanted to do this. You see, we got, in this bundle, we got your depression, we got your stress, we got your anxiety, we got your anger, we got that broken relationship, we got your family dysfunction, we got your family fights, we got your addictions, all bundled up inside of here. We have your worries, we have your fears, we have your past, we have your overthinking, we have everything inside of this, right? Yeah, true?
True.
You guys talk back.
True.
Yeah, true?
True.
True or not true?
True.
Is this where all your worries are at? Yes. Is this where all of your, everything that's holding you back from truly living your life, is this where it's all at?
Yep.
True or not true?
True.
True or not true? So let's do this. Do you mind if I throw it? Here we go. That's gone. That's no more. And that's what's going to happen tonight. That's going to be no more. So when you walk out of that room, you're going to leave changed.
Yep.
And when you walk out of that room, you're not going to walk out the same way that you came in. Because although you might have walked in and you said, you know what, my day was pretty good, my life's going pretty good, but there's still something in the background that's just waiting to jump out at you. What I just did was I just threw that out the window for you. That's gone. That situation that was going to pop up and totally make you fall again, that's gone. Because God's got a plan and he's got a purpose for you. Will you stand up with me tonight?